What's up, YouTube? Fun or Nothing YouTube. Woo! My name is Rebecca White, and speaking of my name, Rebecca White, today I'm going to talk about identity letters and why I think they are important. And I'm hoping you guys find this interesting and then want to write or create your own identity letter, or if you've already done this, maybe encouraging you to share it with somebody else. So it's going to be all about me. This is the introduction of me. So hopefully you enjoy learning about Rebecca's identity, but I'm going to read my identity letter so you guys can experience the Becca. But no, little story before I do. The reason I did this was because I went through a breakup. I broke up with my ex-boyfriend on January 1st, and I had no idea who I was. I had completely lost myself. And so I was like, I knew I needed boundaries. That was one of the main problems that I brought into our relationship, was I didn't have any boundaries. And so I was like, I'm going to discover boundaries, and I had some money in my pocket. And so I hit up this coach that I follow on Instagram, The People Displeaser. I think he's absolutely amazing. He's a boundaries coach. And so I went to go pay him 10 grand for his coaching, and I had put the down payment down. I had given him the deposit to start the program, and I still owed him, $9,000 whatever. And then we had our first session, and I was so hurt in that moment, going through my breakup, that I was just teary-eyed and my eyes were swollen. I vomited all my pain on this man. And yeah, he's a coach. That's the process, right? You go to coaches in your time of need. So that sparked me to, when I walked away from that conversation, all of a sudden I was like, wow, I didn't even introduce myself. I didn't even really tell this guy who I was and the truth of me, which then led me to the realization that I don't even know who I am. So I have to figure out who I am and my own identity before I can introduce myself to somebody else. So then I went to write down, hang on, I lost it. Here we go. I was like, well, I'm going to write down who I am. And so the next time I get on the call with this guy, I can introduce myself properly. And that was a huge epiphany, because I went to go write things down, and one, I didn't really know what to write. I was very confused with who I am. I was identifying as a hot girlfriend, a hot wife for so long, and I just had all this weird identity crisis going on. And then two, I realized that I can write anything I want. I don't have to be anything I've said I am. I can be whoever I want to be. And so it was just this awakening moment of like, wow, what a healthy thing to sit down and figure out who you truly are, because you operate your daily life, being an idea of something. And I don't think that a lot of people realize that how they're showing up in the world. And that's why I will do another video on self-observation, because I think it's extremely important, and it's definitely an attractive quality for me when I meet people, whether they observe themselves and figure out who they are and how they're showing up in the world. So I try, not always perfect at it, but that's why I also like to surround myself with people who will call me out and say, hey, Becca, do you realize you're showing up in that way? Do you realize you're complaining right now? I like being around people who call me out, because I'm the person that will call people I love out on how they're showing up in the world. So anyways, here goes, you guys. This is a little long, but I'm going for it here on this video. I'm going to read out my identity letter and what I wrote down. And oh, by the way, after I started this and I wrote down what I could get out of my head that I feel that I am, I went to my friends and I asked them to read it, and I said, will you please critique this? Am I lying about myself in any of this? Or did I leave anything out? So, for example, I hadn't put anything about my relationship with my little brother, and that's an impactful relationship in my life. And so I added that to it. And then some other things that maybe I wasn't quite honest about with myself, which I thought that that's how I am. But, my good friends called me out on it, and I'm super open to that. So here we go. Introduction of me. I am a hype girl that shares love by seeking out the excellence of others. I love to ease people. I love to remind people that they are good and to have fun. I love to be reminded to have fun. I am playful and a bit rebellious against the norms. I am very understanding and very forgiving. I quit TV when I was 22. I spend a lot of time studying psychology, human connection, happiness, law of attraction, education. I spend a lot of time loving on my beautiful home, taking care of my beautiful body, pouring into others, shopping on Amazon, playing with the doggies, sleeping, and sometimes scrolling on Instagram. I listen to a lot of Abraham Hicks, Teal Swan, Joe Dispenza meditations, other YouTube education, and a lot of Audible books. I recently committed to 1 hour of 4 15-minute books a day. That's the Headway app, by the way, if you haven't heard of it. I love hosting events and themed parties. I love creating gatherings of connection. I love bringing people together. I love meeting new people, more when I know who I can connect them to. I take pride in my discernment. I take pride in the positive, creative energy that I know I can provide 95% of my experiences. I'm definitely a hype girl. I love cocktails, but won't drink just to drink. I want bougie cocktails only. I take months off at a time from drinking and plan ahead for time frames. I do plan to have a cocktail season. I am a fun drunk that lights up everyone and still takes care of everyone. I love smoking, eating weed, but could care less if I ever have it. I do appreciate it. It's very grounding and motivating for me. Reminds me of my excellence. Weed makes me hyper, like I've taken a pre-workout. Daily habit makes me feel numb and disconnected. My ideal smoking schedule would be bi-weekly. Hey, had to learn that about myself. I did. The people I enjoy spending the most time with are positive, forward-thinking, committed to helping others, open and committed to learning me, open to giving reminders, active, vulnerable, forgiving, open to speaking their truth, funny, kind, love to travel, love to get creative, spontaneous, wealthy, and healthy. The practices I want to be more consistent with: meditation, dancing, communicating, stretching, running, face and hair pampering. I do these things. And beach walks with Bella. Bella is a best friend adopted into my life from my little bro. He just came out of rehab recently. I need to up that because it says he will be. And another reason to master boundary setting. Sunny is the little bro. That's Morgan's dog. Amazes us daily how well they get along and play all day. We consider them our greatest reminder to live in the present and play. Bella has a theme song. It's "My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time." Well, that's the opening of my Fun or Nothing podcast too, by the way. I love to party all the time. So my brother Brandon, very special human in my world, in and out of rehab and finally ready to come out clean and healthy. I was a heavy enabler in his life. It crushed me many times over, and which launched me to study addiction and enabling for many years, which actually I believe is a launch of my obsession with human connection and relational intelligence, because I can't stop studying it. I now feel confident in its re-entering of my life come May because I've been studying boundaries. And I have friends that value my excellence and pour into me. I have a whole list here of my friends, my most amazing friends, the ones that take time to get to know me and pour into me. I'm not going to list it right now, though. What I want in a man. This was a big one because I thought I had the man of my dreams, and then I learned a lot of things I don't want, and so I really had to take time to figure out what I truly want in a man, and I think all women should write this down. Find your identity, ladies. I want a man that cares about my best interest. I want a man that understands how to comfort me when I'm triggered and emotional and feeling low or confused. I want a man that loves to have sex with me and explores my body and plays with me often. I want a man that cherishes our time together and goes out of his way to spend time with me. I want a man that sees value in working at growth within our relationship and relationships with others. I want a man that is generous with his money. I want a man that is generous with his giving understanding. I want a man that loves to take care of his body. I want a man that loves to travel and gets excited to explore. I want a man that flirts and plays. I want a man that loves to laugh a lot and seeks out reasons to laugh. I want a man that wants to pamper me. I want a man that feels powerful with me by his side. I want a man that loves to give me lots of words and of love and encouragement. I want a man that promotes me becoming rich and successful. I want a man that can't take his eyes off me but also gives me space. It's possible. I know this. I want a man that dominates relationship goals. Yes. I expect financial freedom. I expect community-driven future endeavors. I expect a Ferrari Portofino. That's coming. I expect health. I expect to be speaking on stages. I expect healthy relationships and a huge friend group. I will have Luxury rides at any time available, even and especially during travel. The nicest, safest, most luxurious airplane rides everywhere I go. The cleanest, best smelling luxury hotels every time I travel. Ease of knowing I am allowed to spend money. Best quality food and service everywhere I go. Ability to pay for any one of my friends to travel and experience luxury events and fun. A person to help educate me on clothes and packing. The good stuff. I really want that. Freedom and encouragement to express my desires for the good stuff. Quality time. Intention setting before event or travel. With loved ones to work at our connection and create strategies that protect us from harming each other. These are all things that are really important to me that I didn't know how important they were to me until I wrote them down. And then I just kind of created a list of questions like what makes me feel fearful in a relationship? What makes me feel extra happy in a relationship? What are the needs I feel I cannot live without? And then what makes me angry? So what makes me feel fearful in a relationship? Secrets, lack of transparency, complacency, tradition. I don't like tradition. Lack of trust in my intuition, not being validated or seen. What makes me feel extra happy in a relationship? Creating, giving to others, making, spending money together, practicing communication, deepening connection, working through hard times together to conclusion. What are the needs I feel I cannot live without? Words of affirmation, encouragement, intimacy, which everyone needs, to be noticed. I love to be noticed. Everyone loves to be noticed, but it's really important. What makes me angry? Dishonesty, lack of effort to create clarity. Clarity is my big thing, you guys. Like, I vomit out everything I feel and do because I think that if it's clear, then everyone's safe. Hurting my friends. Don't fuck with my friends. Lack of commitment to growth over a long period of time. Complaining about others. Now, I complain sometimes, but I complain to a solution-driven conclusion. So that's my whole identity letter, and I feel like I could even go back and add some things because this was written in February, but I've updated it many times over, and I think the last time I updated it was July, so I can even update it again more because I have more preferences and things I don't prefer. So that's my encouragement for you guys to write an identity letter, figure out who you are. Step one, just sit down with a piece of paper and just see if you can even get out a few things about yourself. I promise you're going to sit there and be like, I don't know what to write down on this piece of paper. So just start like vomiting out some words, and I think that you will start to feel more inspired to write about yourself. And if you need help, there's plenty of stuff on YouTube about identity letters. And I like I've said in many of my videos, I'm a huge Teal Swan fan. So if you guys follow Teal Swan, be careful because she'll get you digging down all these rabbit holes and you get stuck in those sometimes. Yeah, I'll have to take a Teal Swan break, but I do love learning about this stuff and I love sharing it with you guys. So write your identity letter. If you do write your identity letter and you're really interested in this stuff, please leave me a comment or reach out. I would love to hear from you. The best way for me is in the comments, or you can hit me up on Instagram, which is Jax_Pole_athletics. My brand is Fun or Nothing, so I have the funornothing.life is my website if you want to do events or reach out to me that way. I'm super open there too, and I'm just very happy to be sharing my identity with you guys and hoping that it inspires you to do the same. And I will see you on the next video, and I love you so much. Mwah. Boom.